Hey y'all, Monk Joseph here with the Broken Buddha. Today doing meditation class number 3, standing. So if you've already checked out the sitting, you know almost everything that I do about sitting meditation with the notes. If you checked out the breathing, you know everything about the two main fundamental styles of breathing. Now we're going to go into standing, okay? So what I'm going to teach you is a southern bioelectricity building stance, everything in your body, the electricity that your body makes that you use every day, like I am with my arms right now. The best way to build that and build up marrow in the bones, I believe I've seen some people call it bone stacking, but it's just a southern chi building stance. So I think I'm only qualified to teach a southern chi building stance. I know I have videos on here on northern Zhanjiang, but that was more specifically for specific ligament issues that you may have in your knees. Not the point. So let's dive right into the standing. So this is a southern stance out of a style called Jin Gang Legong. Everything we're going to be doing is going to be stomach breathing the whole time. You're not going to reverse breathe at all. Let's just get right into it. All right. Sorry, I'm going through like the motions and everything. So as you're standing here, like with most qigongs and a lot of yogas that you'll see like this, you'll start here. If you're a man, right over left. If you're a woman, left over right. And again, just like the sitting, it's just to bring in softer energy for men, more fiery, a more heavy, fiery energy, creative energy for women. But it's just a balancing thing. It has nothing to do with what you need. I mean, if you're feeling a little lethargic and like drab, you can always do left over right. But specifically, if you're trying to fix imbalances, you want to bring that little bit of balance in. And again, it is internal. So, all right. So we're here, and then again at that point, if your hands are at your side, you are going to breathe in. At this point, depending on how much of an expert or not you are in qigong or yoga, right when you get to here, the chi that surrounds your head, you're going to pretend you're stuffing it all in the top of your head, also known as the Bai Wei point, and then you'll come down to the hands and cross over whichever side I was saying before, and then you'll squat 3 times, breathing into your stomach. And as you're doing this, really feel the flex and stretch where your feet meet your ankles and in your lower back. Okay? Now at this point, you're going to twist your feet slightly inward, not 45 degrees, nothing really heavy. The best way to explain this is to twist your Yang Chuan point. Your Yang Chuan point, I'm seeing if I can see it in the camera. Your Yang Chuan point's right about here. And you'll feel it. It's the equivalent of the point in your hand that's here. And if you just Google Yang Chuan, YONGCQUAN, you should get the point that I'm talking about. All right. So at this point, you're standing. You've stuffed your chi in the top of your head. You have your hands over your dantian. You squatted 3 times, and then you've twisted your feet, right? And again, don't look at it as like this whole like stepping pattern. No, you're literally just like turning screws into the ground, just like that. I mean, you can almost twist them without moving your feet almost barely. So you can see I'm not really going for like a heavy toes in type deal here. All right, so we're here. And then from here, you're going to start building chi, right? You'll bring your hands up to here, which is going to be a straight index finger with the other 3 fingers bent, slightly separated. And you're going to breathe into your stomach and separate them. Breathe out, bring them back together. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And then I want you to repeat that exact thing. Just breathe in and breathe out, bringing your hands in and out for approximately 10 minutes to an hour. If you're really a pro, hit 2 or 3 hours. But this specific part of this is how you're going to build your bioelectric function. After approximately 2 weeks of this, doing the 10 minutes it should be 40 minutes to an hour a day if you want the actual prescription, but I know a lot of people can't do that. But after you've built chi for 2 weeks, after you enter the beginning of the yoga and you're here, after 100 breaths, this is after 2 weeks we're talking about, you're going to turn to here, keeping your hands the exact same way. And this is how you cycle chi, or for healing. All right, and both are very important. And for those who are initiated and familiar, if you notice, I'm keeping the tiger's mouth open. This is very important, making sure that you're almost trying to grab as much as you can with your middle finger and thumb to keep the tiger's mouth open, but you don't want your thumbs like open. You want them parallel to almost be making a triangle with the index fingers, but the tiger's mouth is here. So the tiger's mouth is open for any of those who are paying attention. And if you're that advanced, you should be feeling for your Lao Gong to open up and connect, which again is right here. All right, here, here. So we've covered the start, how to build, how to cycle. At the end of your cycling chi after 2 weeks, you're going to turn your hands back here for 30 more breaths. Okay? And now we'll get into the close, and I'm going to cover all this at the end. Okay? So you're here, you turn upright, straighten your feet slightly. This is the close. And you're going to pack the chi. Pretend your elbows are packing chi into your lower dantian or lower stomach. I mean, it is, don't pretend, but if you're not familiar with these things, then just focus on a visualization of packing energy into your lower abdomen. We're going to do 3, and drop your hands. Breathe in right here. Breathe in. Stuff down. Breathe in. Stuff down. Breathe in. This time when you stuff down, it's like the first one. You'll cross your right over left, over the dantian. Leave it there for about 10 to 13 seconds is the rule of thumb that I do. And wait till you're like good and relaxed. You should be feeling your lower dantian is going to be approximately 3 fingers below your belly button or navel. And as you're pressing there at the end, you want to feel for, a wind. It'll actually kind of feel like a wind or a tingling. Could be heat. But you do want to feel for a sensation connecting between your Lao Gong and your lower dantian point, your false dantian, if you will. Okay? And after those 10 to 13 seconds, you're going to circle like this on your stomach. It would be clockwise. And what you're doing is, I call this twisting the bread bag close. And that's what you're doing. You're sealing this point from leaking any chi out of the front of your dantian. All right? And then you'll knock. They always prescribe to knock hard. I always say knock soft a little bit first, but this style does want you to knock hard. So after you knock soft, you get a little warmed up. Beat it. It's called knocking the chi to calm it. From there, you're going to put your wrists on your kidneys. All right? If it's winter time, you'll circle in to bring more chi and heat in. Or if you're preparing for something where you need a lot of chi, use your own discretion. If it's summertime, you want to go out to bring the heat and chi out. Especially when it's like, here in Visalia, it's 113 degrees. Yeah, you're going to be cycling out for that one. Okay, turning back. And after you do 3 circles there, you're going to rub your hands together. Take this stuff off for a second. Super bright here. Rub your hands together. There you go. Face. Other way. Ears. And give your ears a really good rub, because there's a lot of acupoints and reflex points in your ears if you're familiar. And then rub the top of the Bai Wei point. All right, and that's it. Always rub your hands off, give a little, so you're not leaking chi. And that's it. That is your Jingeng Ligong healing stance, chi building stance, chi cycling stance. And I'm going to go through the whole thing again to the best that I can, okay? So you're standing, get about shoulder width apart. Right here, when you feel the magnetic sensation around your head, if you're advanced. If not, then just right when you get to your arms to bend and you're on your head, breathe in, stuff down while breathing into your stomach. Squat. 2 more. Focusing on the stretch of where the ankle meets the shin in the lower back. Screw the Yongtron points or the bottoms of your feet into the ground slightly. Raise your hands to approximate shoulder level. And breathe, come apart. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And again, if it's your first time, you're going to do this for 2 weeks. After that, you will start cycling. If you already have an abundance of chi, you don't have to wait the 2 weeks if you know for a fact that you have it, but otherwise it's not really going to help you. I mean, it's like driving a car with no gas. Like, where are you going, man? So get your 2 weeks here. After that, if you've already passed that and now you're just going into the process, you'll do 100 breaths here. Turn here. for approximately 40 minutes. Typically, you want to do an hour. So if you're doing an hour, you're doing 100 breaths here, which should equal 10 minutes. You're going to turn up to here for 47 minutes, and then you'll do your last 30 breaths. Again, I'm just exampling for an hour, right? And then after you do everything, you'll straighten up again, straighten the feet, stuff the chi with your elbows, flatten them up as you come up. Again, this is all breathing into your stomach. And drop your hands, breathe in. 2 more. Last one, cross over. Men right over left, women left over right. Hands on the dantian, feel for the tingling or hot sensation. Close the bread bag clockwise, knock it harder. Rub the kidneys, outwards for hot, inwards for when you're cold. Hands. Face. Ears. Top of the head. And close. All right. Quick notes. All the same points of meditation still apply here. Be sure your tongue is to the hard palate on the roof of your mouth. It's a little half fleshy ball right behind your teeth. If you press the tip of your tongue right against that, you should feel like a slight static charge, either each time your heart beats and in between if you have enough bioelectric function, or if you're sensitive like that. The other rules apply. Your head should be hooked as you're doing this. And there is a highly debated point here on whether or not to tuck the tailbone. So I've been told by some to tuck the tailbone, and I've been told by some to keep it straight. And being that it's the bottom of the vase, my consensus on this is to focus on letting your lower spine expand when you breathe into your stomach. When you're breathing into your stomach, if you relax your lower vertebrae, your spine should just automatically kind of get more like hanging almost, you know what I'm saying, like a string of beads. And if you are doing the tuck, it's not, my take on this, it's not so much of a tuck. If you understand Southern Haka styles and bringing chi up the legs, you can tell people whatever they need to at the beginning, because if they don't understand the idea of using their legs to suction chi up the middle of their meridians, all you can say is tuck and flex the glutes. So, but personally, if you're a beginner, you shouldn't be worried about pulling chi up your legs every single time. You should give a little squeeze with your knees, like you're trying to hold a ball there. Not too much, just like you're holding it right there, okay? Yeah, so if you're a beginner, you want to tuck the tailbone to focus on getting the spine to stretch so you can let it loosen up on its own later. But some people do stand by keeping the hips square like you'd be walking naturally. Yeah, and feel it out for yourself, guys. All this stuff, I can't give you an exact for everybody's body. Everybody's body different. I can't tell you definitively this will work for you, that will work for you. I'd have to be there and see your comfort level. But practice it, feel it out. What feels good to you? What's making you feel better every day? Is it causing you any pain? Stop. It shouldn't be causing you any pain back there at all. So again, my take is to breathe into the stomach, and as your stomach expands, that lower pleural cavity will put a little pressure on your spine, and if you just relax it, it'll just stretch itself. And again, that is my opinion of this. We cover everything. Eyes at the angle of the nose, looking 6 inches away from the face. There's other things you can do if you have your own style on how to focus. Let me see what else. It's really bright out here. Let me see, make sure I'm not missing nothing. You want to feel as though your elbows are resting on a table. You don't want them down here. You don't want them here, like about here, right? And after a while, you're not even going to notice it. At first, it's going to be really brutal. The building is going to be really brutal right here. And then cycling for long periods of time is going to be a whole thing. If you think you want to come after my record, it's 2 hours and 5 minutes of standing, which is 100 breaths here, and then the rest of the time here, and 30 breaths here. So 10 minutes in the beginning, 3 minutes at the end, 13 minutes. So it's like, an hour and 47 minutes of just straight boom. And I've got witnesses to that a bunch of times. So yeah, try it out. See if you can stand for. You think it is actually a fun one, because I get a lot of comments on here about people being tougher than me. Like, you think you're so tough in fighting. Why don't you see if you can stand longer than me first before you tell me how tough you are? And that was just for the fighters. Forgive me for any of the meditators that are in on here, but it's kind of ruthless having a YouTube channel right now with everybody. Most people are really cool, but sometimes you get some naysayers, and I just thought I'd throw that out there. So if you think that you want to try to one up me, you think you're more emotionally strong than me, then that's really all when you're standing there. I mean, there's a physicality to it, but right now, even though you've never done this, you are capable of standing there for 2 hours. You may pass out or puke the first time if you actually try to stay that long, and your brain's capable of handling it. But it's all mental. It is. I mean, I don't think I could stand. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if I could stand for 2 hours and 5 minutes right now without building up to it. But I would be willing to push myself to like puke or pass out and see how far I can go with it. But I am building back up. So that's everything I have. Make sure I'm covering everything. Bam, squeeze, hips tucked. That's everything. Yeah. So there you have it. That's Jin Gang Ligong's building stance, Chi cycling stance. We will get into more into Jin Gang Ligong, some stuff, the 6 animals of Jin Gang Ligong, and the sun form to dredge or heavily clean your meridians. And coming up next on the meditation series will be Sun Salutation or Surya Namaskara. That'll be our first moving meditation. I think that's the best simple one to start with, and it's just wonderful, man. In my opinion, it's wonderful for psychological health and just overall physiological function. So, all right. Well, thanks for stopping by. I know it's a long video, but if you want to build chi, you want to be good at meditating, this is what I got for you. All right. Peace and blessings. Thanks for stopping by.